Hey, it's Matt Moscona. You found it, your home for all the latest news and conversation around your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. And this channel is powered by BetUS. Up to a 125% bonus on your first 3 deposits, up to $2,000. It's all at BetUS. The link is in the description on this video. Who dat? All right, Saints are back on the practice field out in Irvine, California, and they had a visitor. Former Pro Bowl safety Justin Simmons, who spent the first 8 years of his NFL career in Denver, is a free agent. And, I mean, this is one of the, I don't want to say the worst kept secrets, but this is one that I really feel like since free agency began and the Saints didn't, or obviously parted ways with Marcus May, everyone has said the Saints should look at Justin. I mean, just Google Saints Justin Simmons, and literally anyone who writes anything or talks about the Saints has talked about Justin Simmons. It makes sense post June 1, so you're not affecting your compensatory pick formula. So all of this makes a lot of sense. It would have made sense at any point over the last 2 months if the Saints had signed Justin Simmons, but only now are they bringing him in for a workout to kind of kick the tires. And here was Dennis Allen after practice, here day 12, on the decision to bring Justin Simmons in for a look-see.
This is a guy that's been a good player in our league for a long time. He's a player that's shown an interest in us. We've got some connections with him in terms of guys on our staff that have worked with him, guys that have played with him. And so, look, I think that it's exactly what it is. It's a visit. He's coming in, and we'll talk about how we would see him, what type of vision that we would have for him, and then if what we're looking for and what he's looking for, if those things match up, then we'll see if it goes further than that.
I mentioned that like everyone has talked about bringing in Simmons. DA was asked how long they've been having these conversations with Simmons.
Probably sometime in the spring there was a little bit of back and forth. We and he were not probably on the same page in terms of what we were willing to do or what he's looking for. I think it's just getting closer to the season. I think we're probably a little closer on both sides, and so I think that's why you bring the player in. You have a chance to sit down and visit with him and see if things work out.
Isn't it amazing how maybe this is just me, y'all, but the Saints are regarded in NFL circles as the most fiscally irresponsible team in the league, right? They're just constantly restructuring deals, kicking the can down the road, all the things that we've talked about for years here, right? We all understand that. But when the Saints decide what their number is for a player, brother, they are pot committed to that number. Like they like there is a line, and they are not going over that line, not 1 cent. And we've talked about some examples over the years. If it was Marcus Williams, if it was Mark Ingram. I mean, the Saints have watched players walk out of their organization over pennies because they just wouldn't go over whatever that dollar limit was. And so here they are with Simmons again, and you heard DA say it. We've been talking to him for a while, but this is a guy that effectively wanted more money than we were willing to pay. So, and I get that for Simmons because his last deal was a 4-year, $61 million contract that he signed with Denver. So this is a guy that's made 2 Pro Bowls, has been a starter for 8 years. He started 108 games in the NFL. He's 30 years old, former 3rd-round pick. So after his rookie deal, he got the giant contract, a 4-year, $61 million deal from Denver, and was guaranteed 35 of it. So dude has made a good amount of money, but he's trying to get that next contract. But at 30 years old, the question is, where are you? What are you willing to pay? How long of a deal? So I look at this from a couple of angles from the Saints' perspective. Number one, you sign Justin Simmons if the price is right. And my guess is what they're looking at here is a 1-year deal. Maybe a 1 year with an option for a 2nd year, something like that. Think of the 2 biggest name defensive free agents the Saints have signed this year. Who are the 2 biggest defensive free agents the Saints have signed? Chase Young, Willie Gay. Both are on 1-year deals. 1-year kind of prove-it deals. Guys that have been starters in the NFL that would have liked a lot more security, didn't get it. 1-year deal. Prove it. Let's see how it goes. Look at Alvin Kamara right now. Camaro wants more money guaranteed. The Saints aren't willing to do it. Like, it's just so bizarre how they can be so fiscally irresponsible in one part of their organization and so cheap and stringent and just fickle in their other. So it's just bizarre. But yes, if you have an opportunity to add a guy that's a former Pro Bowler that started 108 games and make you better at safety, you do it. It's a proven piece in the secondary, likely an affordable deal. And I think it really raises another big question of, well, are you not comfortable with Jonathan Abram and Jordan Howden and Will Harris? Are they not performing? Like, DA was asked about this. The current safeties that are there, like the guys I just mentioned, has anyone caught his eye so far at safety?
I don't think we're set at that position opposite of Tyron. I mean, I think, we got several guys that are competing. All of them have things that they do well. All of them have things that they have to improve on. And so, I think we're just going to let that play out as the preseason plays out. And I'm not in any hurry to make a determination of, where we're at there.
We'll get right back to the video, but here on AFR Saints, we're powered by BetUS. And it's a great opportunity, if you haven't found them yet, to join up with our partners over at BetUS, because right now, new customers can get a 125% bonus on your first 3 deposits up to $2,000. And look, the Saints are playing the Cardinals this weekend, and the first weekend of preseason. You want to bet on that? It's this easy. Just open up BetUS. You can hit the football tab right there. You'll see it, NFL preseason, and you'll find all the lines for the games in week 1 of the preseason. We can find the Hoodats as they're going to be on the road in Arizona against the Cardinals. There it is right there. Saints are a 1.5-point favorite now. We've seen that flip as the Saints were a dog. That's why you got to keep your eye on the line. Minus 125 on the money line if you like the Saints to win. How about that total? 36.5. Usually unders in the preseason, but what do you like? Do we see a little more scoring? Great chance to go bet on it right now at BetUS with our partners. Remember, 125% bonus up on your first 3 deposits up to $2,000 at BetUS. It is AFR Saints powered by BetUS. Now back to the video. That's pretty telling, right? So, I mean, think about what happened last year. So you invest the money into Marcus May, and over 2 years, Marcus May misses 17 games. He effectively misses an entire season. And last year, Tyron's there, and Tyron had a real resurgent year a season ago. Was second on your team in tackles behind only DeMario Davis. And you saw a lot of Abram, who's a former first-round pick out of Mississippi State, and was a teammate of Derek Carr's with the Raiders, and Jordan Howden, who was a draft pick out of Minnesota. So you got a really good look at those 2 guys last year, and the fact that they didn't go in free agency and immediately sign a big name free agent, to me, said they're confident with those guys. And then they went and added Will Harris from from Detroit, who's been a starter in the NFL as a really good depth piece. And so that kind of told me they internally knew their guys the best, and so they were good with their guys. But the fact that you now get into day 12 of training camp, you're now into your 3rd week of camp, and now you're bringing in Justin Simmons. It really tells you exactly. I mean, DA told you the answer there without fully saying it. Like, we're not set there, meaning they're not, outside of Tyron, they're not happy with what they've seen at safety. So Justin Simmons is a no-doubter to bring in at this point if you can. By the way, maybe one downside of this is just the age. I mean, Simmons is a guy that's 30 years old right now. Not that that's super old, but you got 2 younger players. I mean, Jonathan Abram's 27, Jordan Howden's 24. So you're going here potentially for an older player over a couple of younger guys that you think could grow up, but you're feeling maybe like he makes you better immediately. And especially if you could do something on a shorter term deal, maybe that makes a little more sense. One more from DA, and there's the other part of this with Simmons that's interesting. If you're not familiar, so Saints defensive coordinator Joe Woods came from Denver, where he was a position coach and then the defensive coordinator for the Broncos. So for Simmons' first 4 years in the NFL, Joe Woods was his position coach and then his DC. So not only has he been a really good player, but there's familiarity with the player on your staff. And DA was asked about that, the familiarity on staff, if that sort of helps here with transition with Simmons.
you never know what you're getting until they actually get here. And so when you have somebody that's been in the meeting room with a player, whether it be a player or a coach, but somebody that's been in the meeting room, been on the practice field, been through the games, to where you have intimate knowledge of how the player responds in different situations, what type of teammate is he going to fit into the culture that we have here? Like, all those different things are things that you don't really know unless you have, that knowledge from being in the building. And so I think having those guys know the player and having worked with him before would make a transition easier.
I think this makes sense for so many reasons if the Saints are able to get it across the finish line, which with Justin Simmons, we'll see. But I will say this. Look at where the Saints have added. As far as their quote-unquote big-ticket free agent items, I mentioned Chase Young and Willie Gay and potentially here Justin Simmons. Nothing on the offensive side. And that's maybe the big concern. Why didn't you go add a proven veteran offensive lineman? Why didn't you go add a proven wide receiver? I mean, yeah, look, Lucas Patrick may end up being a starter for you, and I'm pretty excited about him. Cedric Wilson has been a competent player in the NFL, but you didn't add any star power. You added star power and potential high ceiling star power with Chase Young and a guy that's been a Pro Bowler, Justin Simmons. You haven't done that on the offensive side, which is a little odd because I certainly would have looked at the Saints and said, where do you need to dramatically improve and supplement your team? It's on the offensive side. But here they go, looking at Justin Simmons. We'll see if they're able to get that deal done. If they do, we'll certainly talk about it here on AFR. Thanks so much for watching the video. Remember, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you're notified whenever we post a new video. And our channel is powered by BetUS. 125% bonus on your first 3 deposits, up to $2,000. All the info and the link in the description below.